I quit my six-figure engineering job to sell solar panels over the summer. And 4 months later, I quit that too. And the sad part is I was making really good money. I was on track to retire within 3 to 5 years, and I still left. This is why. My plan was to leave my office job and do solar sales over the summer for 4 months. I didn't care how much I hated it. I wanted to build sales skills, and I wanted to try knocking doors because it looked hard, it looked challenging, and I knew I was going to grow from it. I loved my team and I was making good money, but that last month is when things changed. Every morning I would wake up, I would have this sick feeling in my stomach. And it was this feeling of dread of just, I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to wake up and get out there and knock doors anymore. And this feeling of dread, it would last all day, and it would only go away when I would go to sleep. The part of the day that I looked forward to was actually when I would go to sleep. And this feeling, it kept going on, and I thought it was burnout. So normally with burnout, I'll go rest up in the weekend. I won't work as hard, but that wasn't fixing my issue. And it just kept getting worse and worse. Eventually it got so bad that I just had to stop what I was doing. And when I stopped to think, all of these emotions started coming up in my head. I've been working so hard and pushing all these thoughts down, all these worries and fears, forcing myself to work because the job was so demanding. That's what I had to do to keep going. I wasn't listening to what my brain was telling me to do. Instead, my body stepped in and forced me to stop. And what I realized was this sick feeling in my stomach was coming from the idea of continuing solar sales for another 3 to 5 years. The thought of doing that and having to push away my actual dreams was just sickening to me. The thought of pushing my dreams down the road for another 3 to 5 years, I just couldn't handle it. Because I had initially left my full-time software engineering job for that exact same reason. I was trading my time for money so that I could live a better life later. And I was doing the exact same thing with this solar sales job. I was trading my time for money. I still remember this. I knew deep down that I needed to quit, that I needed to tell my team. I was dreading this feeling. But this feeling, it just kept building and building, and I had to do it. I could not work another day. I loved working with my team, but that next day, I called my team and said, hey, look, I have to take a break. I don't know if I'm going to come back, but all I know is I need to take a break and decompress and figure out if I'm actually going in the right direction here. I had been working basically nonstop for 4 months, and that drive home, I was finally starting to decompress, and I just couldn't handle it. I was used to working 100 miles an hour constantly, and having to slow down, I just couldn't mentally deal with it. I could not relax when I was driving home. And I got home to my parents' house and I still couldn't relax. They were trying to talk to me and I'm just still going a million miles an hour, worrying about all of these things, and I couldn't make it stop. I needed to move out of San Diego, California, because that's where my current residence was. I had an apartment out there, and I was no longer working a job. I no longer had income, so I wanted to move out and move in with my parents to save money. So I flew out there, stayed out there for about a month, trying to get my head on straight and decompressing. When I went out there, I was expecting to see friends, but honestly, when I was out there, I spent a lot of the time alone just so I could decompress, reflect, and think about what my future is going to be. And I spent the majority of my time out there just journaling, figuring out what is it that I really hated about solar sales? Like, what did I not like about my other job? I needed to figure out what was actually going to make me happy. And I remember this one day, I was in my room working and I was feeling depressed, I was anxious, and I was so in my head, I couldn't think clearly. So I went down to the beach and just closed my eyes and just started walking. I just started walking a straight line down the beach with the water next to me, and I closed my eyes and was trying to let go of all these worries that I was thinking about and think, what is my next move? What I did was I ended up walking for 10 miles straight. I walked so far that I literally couldn't walk the next week because my feet hurt so bad. And I pictured myself as an old man. Looking back on my life, thinking about what would be a life that I'm proud of. And what I realized was everything that I was currently doing, solar sales, all these hobbies, traveling, surfing, it didn't matter. What mattered was two things. Number one was I wanted to spend more time with my family. I wanted more time with my parents, my brother and sister, and if I didn't get to do that, and for whatever reason they ended up passing away, I would regret that. Number two was I wanted to share all the struggles and lessons that I've learned in my life to help other people. And that's why I started content creation. I've been doing this for about 3 months, and that's what started, was that walk on the beach. I wanted to share my experiences and give back and create some kind of business around helping other people. Overall, I was so close to getting sucked into being on autopilot again and sacrificing all my time doing something that I truly didn't care about. And I'm so glad I stepped away from that and got out while I could, because I was very close to just continuing down that road and getting deeper and deeper into it. That's the end of the video. If this resonated with you guys and you can relate to this story, or if you have any suggestions for me, leave a comment below. And if you want to see more videos like this and you want to follow this journey, subscribe, because I post every week. And I'll see you guys in the next video.